Retrovirology is first and foremost a web-based journal, meaning that we don't have a printed edition. It is no different in terms of scientific stringency as any other top-tier journals. The editors and the editorial board are all highly established individuals who have lots and lots of experience and who have published prolifically in traditional journals and in all sorts of high visibility fora. So we target our scientific publishing to the basic science of retroviruses. There is somewhat of an emphasis on human retroviruses because those retroviruses tend to have a very significant disease impact. The journal is in some ways focused more on human retroviruses, but we welcome any sort of retrovirology studies that is of excellent quality in any kinds of retroviruses. We also take a global view. So if you look at our editorial board, we have a very good distribution of representation from all parts of the world. And that is something that we are very proud of, because the whole goal of open access publishing is to reach the world, and we do have very, very good representation that is geographically distributed across the globe. One of the things that I would emphasize to authors is that we have been around now in our third year. So initially, when you consider a new journal, your first concern is always whether the journal will be sustainable and whether the journal will be around for a while and whether the journal would be able to reach a certain standard of excellence. So I think that we have been able to demonstrate, and in fact I think the evidence is quite strong, that we have proven to the community that excellence, visibility and impact is not an issue at Retrovirology. So once you go beyond that, then I think you can see that the advantage of retrovirology is that anybody, you can talk about a scientist who is in Cuba, you can talk about a graduate student who might be in Kenya, you can talk about even your sons and daughters who might be in high school and doing a science project, okay? Virtually anybody who has access to the web, okay, can read your information and can benefit from your information. And so I think that is a tremendously powerful way of being able to use your information and to use your knowledge for the purposes of not just sharing with your colleagues, but sharing with the public at large. And I think one has to come to the conclusion that in the 21st century, as young people become more web knowledgeable, and as the overall thirst for knowledge becomes greater across the world, that publishing in open access really makes a lot of sense, because this is one way that you can in fact distribute that knowledge and give it to people, the public. And the public really is not, sort of the ignorant masses at large. The public is increasingly more and more sophisticated and increasingly more and more demanding of access, especially to research and scientific knowledge that is publicly funded. So we have, I think, an opportunity and a responsibility to share. And open access and retrovirology and journals like Retrovirology, I think, are the ways to go in the 21st century. One of the major attractions to doing a Biomed Central journal is the concept of open access. And I am of the persuasion that open access is going to be sort of the model that is going to drive the egalitarian distribution of scientific information. And as we go towards increasing globalization, and as we go towards where marketing and industry and economies are linked, I think it's a no-brainer that we should also think of ways in which we can link scientific information so that everybody globally can in fact share in the development of knowledge. And so given that BMC has a first mover advantage in the open access model, it made a lot of sense that if one were to start an open access journal, that the one would certainly consider BMC first. Fundamentally, I think you have to believe in the concept that there should be no barriers to knowledge. So if you and I don't share that premise, then I don't believe, okay, you can feel the importance of publishing in open access. But once you understand that, in fact, sharing knowledge and allowing people in all parts of the globe to have your information, okay, to in fact be able to build upon what you have found, then I think you can really understand why, as an author, you would want to publish in open access. I'm always fond of telling my colleagues that who are we to be presumptuous and to assume that the Einsteins and the Watsons and the Flemings only exist in developed economies and in developed worlds. Potentially out there, there are a number of young individuals in countries because of just accidents of birth, that they don't happen to be born in developed economies. But those are the individuals who may very well, in the 21st century, be the next Einstein, the next Watson, the next Fleming. And we must reach those people. We must provide them with the opportunity for access. And that, I think, is the overriding factor why authors should embrace open access publishing and see it not only as a responsibility, but as an incredible opportunity to reach the globe.